Okay, I also forgot a couple of other tools that are needed. Pair of scissors to cut your thread and paper towels to wipe up after the wet broom straw. Those are handy to have on hand. Now, what I've done here is to line up the broom straw side by side, and I don't do it by the length at the bottom. I do it by where I cut it. At the top here, line this up. I am going to thread my wax linen through. I pulled off probably about 3 yards. I'm going to start with the first one, and I'll bring it up a little bit closer to show you. This is why you need a very strong knife. It's going to push through here. I'm going to very carefully, don't do it too quickly because you don't want to split this. If this splits off, then I've lost this piece of broom straw and I have to go find another one and start over. I'm going to pull it through just a little bit extra, and I will continue to come through on each one of these one by one. Don't try to do more than one at a time because you have to work with each one to pull it through. Okay. When I get through all of these, I will come back and we will fit them around the handle. When I have all of my broom stalks strung, I will also string the end of the wax linen through the handle, and I'm just going to tie a knot and tie this off here. I will double knot it even with the wax linen. That will hold it in place. Now, what I will do is pull, hold them down and pull through so that it is tight up against these, and these are now strung in a line just like I would have strung beads. I take the handle and I can tuck this end in here. I can simply roll it around. Okay, now the end of the handle is covered. I'm going to find the end of my needle. This is falling off the edge here. I'm going to hold onto this very tightly, and I'm just going to turn the whole works around once, 2 times, and 3 times around. Okay, then I'm going to push the threads very tightly together, and again I can pull, because let me get this broom handle on the other side of me. I think it would work better. I'm going to pull very tightly, and don't worry if it seems to crease a little bit on your broom straw. That's fine, because these broom stalks have been soaking and they're a little bit soft. You want them wet when you work with them, because otherwise they're very dry and they will also split. A safety precaution you might think about is wearing a mask, like a dust mask, when you work with broom straw, especially if you have ordered a box and you first open it up. It's going to be extremely dusty. So just keep that in mind. Alright, what I'm going to do now with my needle, because I want to tie this off, I am going to come between the stalks here. Going to run my thread right between there and pull it tight, and since this is the first time around, I'm going to do this again. Okay, now I am going to come from underneath. I'm going to come through this stalk, and I'm actually going into the broom stalk here. I'm going to push it through easily, easy. Don't push it and accidentally split it. This has come back through the broomstock here. I'm going to come up again, come from underneath here. This is why you have to have a long piece of wax linen. Just some folklore while I'm working on this to share with you. I will stop again. I'm coming from under here, coming through the stalk and out again. In the early days, some of the broommeisters were actually women, and they would use a broom handle as a symbol to let people know that they had a batch of broom ready. The ale houses, that their ale was ready to be bought. So they would actually set the broom handle, or they call it a besom or style of broom. They would let it know, set it outside so they know the brew was available. They also wore, and this I found really interesting, they also wore pointed hats to draw attention to themselves in the marketplace. So if you wonder now where the pointed hat for a witch on Halloween came from, could have had something to do with the early broommeisters, because they were women, like I said, and they wore pointed hats, and they used a broom as a symbol that their ale had been brewed and was ready to be sold. So just a little bit of Halloween lore I found very interesting. I'm going to continue around, and as you see, this is just another way to attach this very sturdily. We're not nearly done. This is coming out here. I'm going to do one more. Come through the handle, out the other side, when you come out from the top here, you can come underneath. I've been around one time. I'm going to go back around one more time. I come into the broom stalk under here. This is another way to do it, to save a step. Come out on the other side, on top of the 3 strands going around. Okay, I only have a couple more to do. I'm going to finish this up to the end, and then we'll go up to the top.